Alright guys, welcome back. Racing with GT. Today, I'm going to readjust my hand here. Today we are going to be getting the road track car ready. We used to drive a Viper. I've sold it, and we are now going to be tracking a ZL1-1LE, all black, automatic, and pretty excited about it. It does have the wrong tires on it at the moment. It's got Michelin Pilot Sport PS4s, which is what people who usually don't track these cars put on them, because the Goodyear Supercar S3Rs, they wear out really, really quickly, and they are terrible in the rain. So a lot of times people will put these Michelin Pilot PS4s on, and they do great for an all-around tire, but they are a substantial amount slower around the track. But we're going to go take them to a track day, just kind of see how well we can do with them before we put the Supercar S3Rs on, and then we'll see what kind of different track times we can get. So our track day is in 2 weeks, and we've got to do some things because this car is completely stock. Whoever owned it before me, it's only got 9,000 miles on it. Whoever owned it before me never took it to a racetrack. It's got all the factory stuff still on it. None of it's been changed to the track mode, which I guess is kind of cool. So we're going to be the first ones to do it. So we do have a couple things that we need to do here first. First of which is, come on with me. Let me turn this around here. The first thing is we need to remove this rain guard. It's got 10mm bolts in it. You just take out 1, 2, 3 bolts. This pops right off. Whenever you're not at the track though, you're supposed to put this back on, but when you take this off, these are rain deflectors. Keep the water from just running down on the motor, and deflects it down this hole right here instead of it going all over the place from just getting let in with the air. So we're going to do that first, and then next we're going to adjust the struts, because they have 2 positions, and we can change it from, right now you can see the tops of the blue struts, they don't say anything, which means it's in street driving mode, and you can tell because the gold dowel pin is still in here. When it's in track camber, it'll actually say track camber across it, and this gold pin, you'll have to remove it. So big thing is, I've seen a lot of people, they'll pull these 3 bolts and they can't get this to spin or drop down, and they'll tear up the top of this because they haven't pulled this pin out, which it has an Allen in the bottom of it, which you have to get from inside there. So you got to pull that wheel off, take that pin out, put the wheel back on to help it pull down, because if you don't, it'll get caught on these fins on the underneath if this doesn't drop down far enough, and it won't let you spin it. So another good tip right there. We also, they come factory with 0 weight 40 oil in it. For the track, we have to switch to a 15W50, so we're going to do that. We have to get it realigned after we've adjusted the camber. And I think that might be it. Oh, and there's 2 little panels on the bottom that we got to switch out too. So come hang out with me while we do this. It's 98 degrees today. So it's extremely hot. Yeah, so come hang out while we sweat our ass off, and we don't have a ton of stuff to do to it. It's all pretty simple stuff to do. Oh, and we got to change to our DOT4 brake fluid. You don't want to keep the stock brake fluid in whenever you're going to a track day. You want to switch to at least a DOT4. So we're going to put in Motul 660 is what I believe I have. I have a bunch of it on the shelf back there. You can see the shelving system back there under the 30th anniversary race car. But I've got a bunch of it back there. I'm pretty sure I got a bunch of Motul 660. That's what we're going to throw in here. So we're going to have to breathe the brakes, and my buddy Travis will be coming over later to help us with that. So let's go get the first thing done, and we got a little bit to do. Luckily, none of it's hard. All right, so let's go get started. All right, so that part's done. Took 30 seconds to do that. I put up the rain deflector and the 3 bolts and stored them right there on that bottom shelf. I think next thing we're going to do, it's like 98 degrees out here. It's super hot. I think next thing we're going to do is adjust the track over to track camber. So the first thing we're going to do is pull out those gold dowel pins, and then we're going to, I don't know if we can. We might have to take the tire off to get them I'm gonna jack up the car here real quick and see if we can get to those with just turning the wheel. All right, be right back. All right, so we couldn't reach it. Well, I couldn't reach it with the tire in the way, so we took the wheel off. While we're in here, we might as well check the pads. You can see we've got a ton of pad left, so pads will be good for our track day. You see down there? So pads are in fantastic shape. You can see how much pad they have left. Now we have to reach back here. That is the Allen in the back there, right there where my finger's pointing towards. That's the Allen we're trying to get to, so we're going to pull that out and then we're going to put the wheel back on. Alright, so there it is whenever it's pulled out from underneath. That is the Allen. And then this top gold dowel pin, it only sits in there when you're in street mode. It doesn't fit back in when you're in track mode. So you're just going to store this. Another thing, I couldn't find any information on this anywhere, what size this was. But in case you're wondering, so you're not trying to just guess, it's a 3/16 Allen is the size of what this is. Would have made it a lot easier instead of having to just reach up in there and trying to figure out what size it is. It's a 3/16. Alright, so we're going to store this over there with our rain guard for when we put it back into street mode. We don't need it right now. We're just going to put the Allen back into the pin and then we'll store it over there with the bolts. So brake pad is good on both sides. One of our brake pads good on both sides. So the only other thing I can see us doing down here is we're going to change out, not this time. For this time, we're going to leave the stock one, which we probably shouldn't since it's so hot. But we're going to put the CTS-V brake ducts in here for the extra cooling because these ones are kind of small and it's pretty much a direct replacement. You just take out these 3 bolts and this one will come off and you bolt the CTS-V one up there and it's gigantic compared to these little ones. Alright, so we're going to do this and now we're going to go up top. First we're going to put the wheel back on, then we're going to go up top, take those 3 bolts out, drop this down, spin it 180 degrees and then bolt it back up and that'll be track camber done on this side. Alright, so we've got the wheel back on, not torqued this back but gave them one ugga-dugga each. All we're going to need for up here, 3/8 ratchet. You can see we've got our dowel pin stored for the moment. You need a 13 millimeter for the strut tower bolts, and then you use a 19 millimeter. This doesn't spin off. This is just used to spin, so you can spin the strut without trying to reach in there and grab it. So we're going to do that real quick. Alright guys, this is what it should look like when it's done. This is the outside of the car. You can see on the outside of the car it now says track camber and your center nut is towards the engine. So this is the correct placement for it. You can see outside of the car, track camber, it is now visible. That's where you want it. Alright guys, it's been a few days, but our tires came in. Those are Goodyear Supercar 3Rs. And so we'll be able to put those on for the track day. The only other thing we're doing to get ready for the track day, we've got brand new oil in the car. We've got the brake fluid changed out to a DOT4, Motul 660. We got the track alignment done on it after we earlier in the video switched out the camber. The only other thing we're really going to do, we're just going to put a green filter on it just because it's still got the 100% stock air filter on it. I don't really consider that a mod. I mean, I guess you could, but it's not like it's a cold air intake or nothing. It's literally just getting rid of the paper filter and putting in a slightly better filter. Help keep IAT down and any kind of restriction out of there. So we're going to do that today, and then we're going to be ready for our track day on Saturday. Today is Wednesday, so the day before 4th of July. And as soon as we get this last piece in and then put the tires on, time to go racing, and then we'll pick up from there. See ya. Alright, as you can see, we've backed out 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there is a 5th one way down there that our screw gun can't reach, so we just have to have a long Phillips, and we're going to back that out real quick, and then we'll flip the filter out. Alright, so stock filter is out. What we did find is a bunch of crap in there. If you don't know what those little green balls are, those are rat poison. So maybe at some point this car had a mouse in it. The filter looks pretty much brand new, but we're still going to trash it because we're never going to use that filter again. So now we're going to clean all this crap out. This is why you check stuff out. But now we're going to clean all this shit out of here, get all that crap out of there. You could smack somebody for putting that stuff in here, but you know, that's just the way it goes sometimes. Check out, make sure the box isn't contaminated anywhere or destroyed, something chewed through it. All looks okay. Just gonna have to vacuum this all out. So the green filter is direct replacement drop-in. We're just gonna go ahead and put this in, just trash, and we'll get this going. Alright guys, last thing to do is just button it back up, but you can see it drops right in. Nice, perfect flush mount all the way across, and then we'll just screw it back together. Other than that, it's basically time to go racing. We do have the 4th of July coming up, and then Friday in between, but make sure you subscribe to the channel, check it out. We'll be racing on Saturday in the new track car, the ZL1-1LE. Hope you guys had fun during the video. I'll see you guys later.